is mid-August and I am on Dunlop Lake, north of Elliot Lake. And I am about to start one of the most anticipated trips of this year for me, which is the Dunlop Lake route. I'm into 10 Mile Lake now and it is really lovely here. There's a cliff. Nice little channel between the island. And the water is crystal clear blue. I'm at the end of the second portage here at Ezma Lake, or Ezma, I don't know. And it's another well-maintained portage. There's a lodge on 10 Mile Lake that probably does that. I'm through the first bay of Upper Mace Lake and just coming out to the open section of the lake. It looks really nice. I can safely say this is one of the best camps I've ever had. It's just a perfect little spot for everything, it seems. There's a nice shelter and mooring for the canoe in there, and a terrific view. Just islands everywhere. And this lake is stocked with splake, and it's also got naturally reproducing brook trout, apparently. Destinations like this are just what I dream of. There's so many islands that you can easily get lost. There aren't a lot of places I come back to because there are so many places to go to for the first time, which is always exciting. But this immediately strikes me as one that I'll probably come back to. It's a bit after 9 and it's pretty close to dark, but I'm really excited to go to bed, so I'm okay with it being dark. I'm pooped. I had an amazing 10-hour sleep last night and now I'm ready for some fishing. Fish on. Oh no. Just as I get the camera going, fish off. Brutal. Felt decent. I'm using the 3-way rig still, but now with this little twitch bait. Well, at least I located one. That's encouraging. No. No. Oh no. Oh. Oh, that's devastating. I just lost a big splake. Oh man. I gotta look at it. I came back to where I got the first bite trolling the three-way swivel, and I've been casting the spin jig, and I felt it nibbling. I already got another hit earlier here when I came back, and I just felt another one, and I gave it a big hook set, and man, there was weight there. Pulled it up. It was a splake. I don't know, easily that long, easily 5 pounds, easily. Oh man. Oh, that's really, really devastating. That's a trophy. Oh, I'm just beside myself. Finally, on my 5th bite, I kept one. I was able to keep one. And it's a nice splake, probably 2 pounds. And that guy's gonna be lunch. Anyway, I'm going to dispatch this guy quickly and get the fire going and have my first splake. I got the fish all cleaned up on the other shore, and I built this fire before I left in anticipation of cooking fish, so it's nice now. All I have to do is hit the ignition. I've never had splake before, but I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like lake trout. So here we go. Lake trout is my favorite fish to eat. Oh yeah, that's amazing. It's really flaky, it's falling apart. Oh man. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna pig out. Time for a nap. Fish on. It's not putting up much of a fight yet. This one was on the three-way swivel. Trolling, obviously. Haven't got to look at it yet, but it's pretty close. It's just below the boat, I think. Oh, there's a run. Oh, might be something. It's staying down now. Definitely has my attention. Still can't see it. It won't come up. And my forearm's starting to feel that feeling where there's probably something decent. I would just be so happy to get redemption on a big splake after losing that one earlier today. That one was agonizing. This is interesting. The rod's bent over. Oh, there, finally getting some. Finally let up a bit. Holy cow. This has to be a decent fish. Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. This is interesting. What is this? I can't believe it felt so light initially. It must have been just humming along with me, not really resisting. Meanwhile, I'm just getting blown across the bay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's coming up. I can see him a little bit. Not a good look though. And now he's... Oh. Oh man. Please come in. Oh. Oh my. Oh please. No. No. Yes! He's in the net. Oh. Oh, he just had one hook. Oh man. Adrenaline pumping. Man, it looks like a lake trout. There couldn't be lake trout here. It's not deep enough. Obviously, splake kind of looked like lake trout, but... Okay, I gotta get this fish down quickly, so I'm gonna get it out quick and let it go quick, because it needs to get back down to the cold water. Oh, that's so nice. I don't know how this isn't a lake trout. It absolutely looks like a lake trout. Anyway, I gotta let it go. And it's gone. Woo-hoo! That was fun. That was a really fun battle. Another fish on. This is an absolute honey hole. So the net hooks out perfect. Man, that was such an awesome day. Really can't ask for much more. The bathymetric maps I have downloaded, they're historical, so they're usually from 70s, around there. Without that, I wouldn't know where to look for the deep basins. Sometimes it's intuitive on a lake. You can kind of see the general lay of the land, and there's a central basin in the middle of the lake, but it's not always like that, and it's definitely not on this lake with all the islands strewn throughout it. The basins are kind of, the two deepest basins are not really where I would expect them. So getting into trout in the summer, it's so essential to have that information. That's really a huge advantage at this time of year for these species. What a morning to be alive. So beautiful. So nice when nature provides a natural portage in between lakes. This is, oh, there's some poop. This is the portage between Upper Mace and Lily Pad, and it's just natural exposed bedrock and makes for a pretty easy portage. Slopes a little bit up and then back down, but still quite good. Another great portage into Lily Pad Lake, following some exposed rock. And at the end it gets into a little wooded area, but still not bad at all. Well, I was about to take this campsite, or look at it anyway, but there's a porcupine on it, a big one. So, what's protocol here? Does he have the site? Can I try later? Pretty cool. It's a big one. So yeah, I want to check out this site. And that guy kind of sauntered off. Oh wow. It's part of a moose jaw here. Hello, Mr. Porcupine. Hello. Please don't get me. I've seen quills removed from a dog on TV and it looks really, really painful. The campsite here is A1. It's so nice. This sloping rock and then these big boulders here. This fire pit with a bench. It's nicely constructed. Someone put old metal and bottles on it for some reason. I am going to put those somewhere else, but aside from that, it's just outstanding. Alright, I got some things drying out, and now it's time for a bath and then lunch. Woo! I thought it'd be warm because it's shallow here, but it's still pretty cold. That's better. Oh. I'm out doing some fishing, and another group just showed up on the lake, 6 of them, and I got to talking to the last canoe in the group once they were close enough, and they're actually the group from Upper Mace Lake, so I beat them to the prime campsite. Sorry fellas. And clearly they wanted it because they paddled straight there. And then I could hear them shouting to try and hear each other from afar, and they were trying to communicate that it was taken, and it was kind of funny. But yeah, they said they got nothing on Upper Mace Lake. And I probably had 20 to 30 bites yesterday on a trout lake. And I asked him if they had the bathymetry, and he said no. So, trout fishing for summer, trout fishing in the summer without bathymetry is a fool's errand. It's a wild goose chase. There's not much point to it. I am heading down the Blind River. This is in Blind River Provincial Park. I'm heading down that way. Well, I just decided that I wasn't going to do it, and then my sense of wanderlust was like, no, we're doing this. So here I am, a slave to my own wanderlust. At least I've got these new shoes, and wading is going to be a joy from now on. I just find these places and I need to know what's there, what's around the corner. What's around the corner that doesn't have 6 other people on it. Not that I mind, I really don't. But just to find that place that no one else sees or rarely sees is just what drives me to do these trips. Now it seems to open up, as it looked like it might have back from the original vantage point at that obstruction. And this is why I do it. This is why I need to check around the corner, because this could be some magic spot. Who knows? But not knowing is what I can't stand. I'm just gonna drift. There's a light breeze pushing me right now over the deepest basin, and I'm just gonna use that and jig deep, basically vertically. It's just diagonal, but it's pretty much ice fishing techniques right now. Oh yeah. Nice lake here. Another one. Thanks, buddy. It's day 4, and it's probably going to be a pretty slow day. Rain is in the forecast all day. There's a strong west wind. The upside is that day 4 is the perfect day in a 7-day trip for a rain day and a rest day. Feels good to be out of the tent. I've been in there for the last 6 hours or more, just reading and napping. I tend to bring something to study and use to improve a skill on these trips where I know there's going to be some rain. I got this last year and studied it pretty extensively. It's a pocket guide to weather forecasting, and it talks about some things you can look for in nature to help predict the weather. This section alludes to a lot of things that I think are fairly well known, such as morning or evening sky, so red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky in morning, sailor's warning. Cattle will herd together at lower elevations. Hair curling before a storm because of the increase in humidity. Things like that, but it also has some unique ones that I don't think most people know. One is campfire smoke. If your campfire smoke is rising in a straight column, high pressure is occurring, and good weather can be expected. If the smoke stays low to the ground, a low pressure system has arrived and rain may be expected. And that was true yesterday with the other group. They had a bonfire and I could see the smoke hanging low as this pressure system moved in. Crickets, this one's really cool. Count the number of times a cricket chirps over a 14-second interval, and then add 40 to that number to get the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Flies, black flies and mosquitoes, some people know about this one, but mosquitoes and black flies typically swarm and feed frantically up to 12 hours in advance of a storm. About an hour before the storm arrives, they will disappear. Frogs will be louder. Geese and gulls are less likely to fly because the air is thinner as the air pressure drops when a storm moves in, so it's harder for them to fly, allegedly. Lastly, ponds. If a storm is approaching, the barometric pressure will be dropping. This lower pressure promotes the release of swamp gases, which in turn push decaying vegetation from the pond's bottom to the surface, temporarily polluting the pond. You'd be hard-pressed to be able to detect that with the naked eye, but it's pretty interesting. Oh, and there's also this one, which was true this morning. There's a halo around the sun or moon. A halo surrounding the sun or moon during the summer is generally an indication that the weather is changing and that rain is likely to be on the way. So that was true today. Anyway, it's a really cool little book. Fun to study while it's raining, because you can only read and do crosswords for so long. Well, it finally stopped raining for a bit. It's dinner time now, so I'm going to make some. This is nice to see. There are shadows on the tent, so there's sun out there. So as soon as it breaks up, assuming it is breaking up, then I can leave. There's a fair bit of elevation gain early in the trail, and then it goes back down and then plateaus into a fairly mucky section. This is a giant. I'm on Pathfinder now and trying to spy a campsite from afar. I have no idea where they are on this lake. As you can see behind me, Pathfinder is a big lake, and you could waste a lot of time looking for a campsite when you don't know where one is. And it's spitting occasionally, just threatening to rain. I don't see any campsites yet. I've been paddling for a while. At this point, I'm planning on just portaging into Canoe Lake, but if this is the trail, it's terribly overgrown, so hopefully there's a different one. Found what I hope is the correct portage trail into Canoe Lake, and it's nasty out. I'd rather be portaging under the forest than out on the lake right now. I'm usually a slave driver and won't eat until I get somewhere to set up camp, but I really felt like I needed, food and a morale booster. Well, I'm glad I stopped to eat. I went from starting to feel miserable to just feeling wet, so that's an upgrade. This, I think it's 800 meters from Pathfinder into Canoe Lake. This portage is clear. It's nice forest, deciduous, mostly. Wow. Look at that one. That is massive. Massive. In proportion to me, my back up against it. It's huge. The middle of this portage gets pretty mucky. Certainly worsened by all the rain, but it looks like this is permanently wet. Back to the halfway point to take the canoe, and then I'll be into Canoe Lake. It's 7:30 and I'm all settled in here on the east end of Canoe Lake. This is a big sprawling site, well used, but pretty well loved. It's not in too bad shape, no major offenses. I can't see anyone's poop, so really that's all I ask. Got lots of things drying out here. And the sun is kind of cracking through the haze there, which is as much sun as I've seen in the last 2 days, so I'll take it. I'm probably just gonna chill out here. I'm pretty exhausted. That sunlight lasted all of 5-10 minutes through the haze, and now I'm huddling around the world's worst bonfire in my 6 stove, which is generating 0 heat. I can pretty much put my hand in the flame. But it's 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna hit the hay soon anyway. Tomorrow is supposed to be decent, at least it was when I got forecast 5 days ago, and I sure hope so. The sun is finally out. Feels amazing. I'm at the bottom of the food bag, so that's the processed stuff. It's just chicken noodle soup. It'll do for now. I'm on the hunt for some good firewood and kindling, because the stuff around my camp has been either scoured or what's left is garbage. So I'm gonna check this section out here. It's almost 6 o'clock and I still have not had a bite. It is dead quiet right now. First time all trip basically that there's been no wind, no noise, no waves. It's not quite 7 and I'm on the water. So making good time. Should be a nice cool portage. 1360 meters. And then into Dunlop Lake. It's pretty cool to paddle on the lake like this. Just black silhouettes of islands and shoreline. For me, this trip is very easy to sum up. Upper Mace Lake was the highlight, and that alone made this trip super worthwhile.